Today is Saturday, December 16th, 2017. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is the Listener Feedback Show for Survivor Season 35, Week 12, Episode 13.
Yeah, our last episode before the finale, before it all wraps up. How many folks did we have sound off?
18, I believe.
18. All right, so we got 18 super fans. And first up, I'm so happy to hear her voice again. Fresh off of 10 rounds of mixed martial arts battle with the Big C, we got Sandi from Hotlanta, and I love the joy in her voice.
Good morning, it's Saturday, and I am going to leave some feedback. Hi, Joanne and Stacy. Hi, all you Survivor fanatics. This is Sandi from Atlanta. I have just a few things to say. One is, I think in this last episode, all of them lost their mind. They are absolutely either starved or they're just have gone crazy. Because Ben, who couldn't keep the smile off of his face, he had no control over his emotions. He was like a 4-year-old. Devin let Chrissy run all over him, just stood there like he had a dazed look on his face. Ryan, who was so animated and funny at the beginning, has just fallen off the face of the earth. He's just like starving to death. He doesn't know whether to stand or sit. Mike, my USB, who doesn't have a snowball's chance anywhere of winning this game, thinks the game should be played a different way, which is beyond my comprehension. And Chrissy's the same way. I think she's got a little OCD that's coming out. She likes the game played her way, and she wants to know what's going on. She is not a team player. She made a comment that she was going to get Ashley out because Ashley was gunning for Chrissy, and I don't remember ever hearing Ashley say she wanted Chrissy out. So I don't know where that's coming from. I also believe that Ashley just could not focus on what was going on, or else she would have played a little bit better on her last day. It's interesting to me that the Ponderosa videos, and I'm sorry if you haven't seen them, but Desi has really taken over greeting everyone, making sure there's a positive attitude going on, so there's not a lot of bitterness, it seems to me. Everyone on the jury seems to be getting along very well, which makes me think there's not going to be a bitter jury. Okay, I know I'm running out of time, but in all the years I have played JSFL, I have never had such a high score, and I cannot get over it. It's stunning to me. Of course, now that I have to pick Final Four, I don't have a snowball's chance like Mike. Okay, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Bye.
So great to hear you, Sandi. Team Sandi, with her scientific, medical, physical, spiritual jiu-jitsu, has submitted the Big C, and I'm thrilled to have her back on the show. Very excited to have your feedback there,
Welcome
Sandi.
back, Sandi.
Mm-hmm. Joanne's looking at me like I'm a goofball for my metaphor, but
you are a goofball.
Totally got what I was saying, and so glad to hear it. Yeah, it did seem like they had lost their mind a bit at times with some of the choices, that decision not to follow Ben at all. There's no way he could find an idol. They just completely checked out, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep getting distracted by your bushy beard.
What about it? It's magnificent on its development to it's dwarvish.
Santa Claus. Stacy wants to be Santa Claus.
Well, now that we're
just won't grow.
Looking at singing over the misty mountains, I need a big dwarvish beard, I think. I want to head in that direction. But yeah, I got some Santa Claus comments while I was out singing and playing the ukulele. It's not all white yet. I'm waiting for it to go all white.
You know that it makes you look 20 years older.
All right. I'm good with that.
So it's just when I turn and look at you, it's like, who is that?
What is that growth?
Okay.
Good deal. Let's get back on track. Survivor.
Okay. Well,
thank you, Sandy.
All right. I won't look at you.
So good. I'm just that distracting magnificence in this beard that's developing.
Every which way.
Yeah, it is a little wild right now. So, okay, enough about the beard. Moving on. Let's check in with Pete.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is Pete from Boston calling here. Wow. Wow. I cannot believe the way this season has turned out. And how about Mr. Marine Ben taking it to a whole nother level, finding the idol right under the shelter there. I cannot believe no one else was looking or even eyeballing Ben. That reminded me of when Amanda found the idol in Micronesia and got rid of Alexis, and we didn't know whether or not she had it. That was awesome by Ben there. Wow. And poor Ashley, who was a little bit, grouchy, but I think she was underestimated. And hey, she was a challenge beast. I turned out to like her. She ended up getting blindsided this week, just like Lauren. Another live vote. But wow, what can you say too about Chrissy, who really is hitting her own in these challenges? Another immunity win, and she's playing the game. She has an alliance with Devin and Ryan. We'll see if that is the final three. I doubt it. But wow, she, I think, after Ben, has maybe the second chance of winning. Then the third is a toss-up between Dr. Mike and Devin, third or fourth. Because Dr. Mike is likable, and he really, because he's an underdog, but he's really done nothing else other than, making the wrong decision. Who knows? But Devin has been sneaky and quiet, and that's kind of what Probe said, I think, in his EW with Dalton Ross. I wouldn't underestimate Devin if he's in the final three. Only one, guys, is Ryan. Ryan, let me tell you, will get the Troysian 0 vote. Plain and simple, and probably no one will talk to him with this new tribal format like you guys said. But wow, guys, let's see now if there's any bitter jurors. I know I mentioned it last week. I don't know if Ashley is bitter. I was worried she might be bitter with Devin, because I know how close her and Devin were. But let's see. She seemed okay in her Ponderosa video. She was trying to find her own thing to do there, like all the other, like how Cole had his adventure, Desi did the dance there, Lauren went crab fishing or whatever with Joe. So that was kind of funny. But I can't wait for the finale, final five. But I think it's Ben's to lose. I think if Ben doesn't win the next challenge, they gotta get rid of him, or all of them deserve to lose. I hate to say it, but I think we'll see if Ben gets voted out. Final five or final four. We'll see. But I think it's anyone's game, with maybe except for Ryan. What do you think, guys? Who would you say is the best chance, 1 to 5? All right, guys, and how will the jury vote? Take care. Woo!
Hey, first I want to say, Pete, thank you for that historical reference from Micronesia for the surprise idol play.
That was awesome.
Turns out Kenny from Dallas was asking about that in his feedback, which we'll get to in a little bit, so we'll circle back there. But we went and watched that portion of the episode using CBS All Access, and it was fun to watch. And actually, it's been so long since I watched Amanda, it was enlightening to watch her pull that off. And as good as Ben has been, as well as he executed his, Amanda was like right on par.
I know. I've always said Amanda is a good player. She's not a good finisher.
She has no
But
end
it
game.
doesn't
Yeah.
diminish. She does have game, and she played really well.
Yeah, she had improved even on her China
I think
performance.
people forget that because she was so
Because she
bad
does so horrible
at the final tribal council.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to get blinded to that when you see that.
But the rest
how
of her
poorly it
game,
comes
she
off.
had that down really well. But
Yeah, that's just fantastically executed. Super appreciated that reference, Pete. Good job. So Sandi was saying she didn't think a bitter jury. Pete's thinking maybe not a bitter jury too, or the possibility. Where's your head on that right now?
I think they will feel obligated to make some snarky comments, depending on who's there.
I think it's Joe's style to be confrontational all the time, so I fully expect that from him. I don't know that it'll be based in a bitterness. Although, if someone's sitting beside Ben, he may direct some bitterness towards someone sitting beside Ben.
I think most of any bitterness that might come will be with the next ones that go out, because it'll be so fresh for them. I think the other people seem to have kind of resolved things.
I would be stunned and surprised if Chrissy were to get voted out and end up on the jury if she didn't come bitter.
Yeah.
I can't see her not being bitter given how she's been comfortable sharing her emotions after tribal councils where she didn't know what was going on and she didn't feel like she was in control.
Yeah.
I think she's going to bring
across as bitter.
She's going to bring the wrath if she's not sitting there at the end.
Yeah. Sometimes, they're just trying to make good TV and get their last moment in the spotlight.
I don't think Ryan would be bitter. I don't
think he would either.
I wouldn't expect Dr. Mike to be, but he's, like Pete was pointing out.
He might.
I'm sorry, like Sandi was pointing out, because he's been advocating that they play the game the way he expects, much the way Chrissy has too. Sandi was making some really good points with that it could come across as bitter because his expectations is out of sync with the reality of how they played the game.
I would be surprised if Devin or Ben
wouldn't
came
be.
Across as
I don't think
bitter.
Ben will be either. When you've been fighting that long, and Ryan's he loves the game, so I don't think JP will, because he's
not so much.
After all that talking I did about how it could be a bitter jury, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. I think they're swaying me away from that.
Wow.
Good deal. Thanks, Pete.
That's huge.
Okay. Next up, we got email from Mike in Omaha. Mike says, I really like Ashley as a person, especially after listening to her exit interviews. I'm impressed. I think there's a driver. I think there's a reason you're impressed, Mike. I also appreciate that she defends Chrissy and explains that they got along really well. Ashley owns up to the fact that Chrissy approached her several times trying to make an alliance, and Ashley wasn't in the mood to hear it. Ashley has said point blank, everything Chrissy offered to Devin, she offered to her first. I think Chrissy is a forceful, unapologetic player. If she were a guy, no one would be saying a word about it. I'm just calling it like I see it. How does this season wrap up? I've got to think that Ben goes out in either 5th place or 4th place. No one left wants to sit with him at the end. If he makes it, I don't think he's running the table. He's upset some people. However, Ben would still win. I've no doubt of that. Assuming Ben goes out 5th, I would like to think Ryan, Devin, and Chrissy then turn on Dr. Mike to hedge their bets. I'll say he comes in 4th place unless, of course, Ben wins immunity or has an idol, in which case the doctor comes in 5th. Mike has been playing an unstable, schizophrenic type of game. I don't believe he's a threat to win, grabbing a vote or two from a former healer, but that's about it. I suppose Ryan's gameplay has been considered non-existent by some jury members, so he'll probably not be getting any votes. It is a shame, because I think Ryan has the chops to play Survivor, clearly, but he's just been a passenger in a passenger seat for too long post-merge. Voting out Allie, I feel, really might have been his pivotal vote. The Hustlers might have all come back together. Ryan saved Chrissy instead, and so in this scenario, I'm spinning she would be one of the finalists who might win. Devin has played a quiet game, Chrissy a loud one. I believe they've both made mistakes, huge ones, so if this is the final two, we're not getting a flawless winner. That's just as well by me. To see someone strategically mastermind an entire season is compelling to watch, but in my opinion, not the most entertaining. I think the votes between Devin and Chrissy would be close, but I feel like she's had the more impactful journey and just might win. If that is what happens, I'll be thrilled. My favorite players this season have been Chrissy, Ryan, Ben, and Lauren, so to see one win, I'm good. What do y'all think? And where is Survivor Triple H going to stack up against other seasons? I think it's one of the most refreshing groups we've had in a while. Hopefully, survivors learn that dashing back to returnee season so frequently might sound good on paper, but the results usually fall flat. Take care, Survivor fans, and Merry Christmas. Thanks, Mike. Mike has Chrissy to win as his USB, too. So that may have, just like it does for me, it may have colored his
usually colors things.
perspective just a
I
tad.
kind of think Chrissy would switch and take Dr. Mike and Ryan.
Yes. Yeah.
Because Devin's very likable.
Yes. And she's been there when he was making calls.
Yeah.
And it wasn't her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think she would turn on Devin last minute.
Yes.
And
I think
pull
that
Mike in.
I think she's very pragmatic and logical, and she would do the same. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Mike's erratic behavior and performance this season says he's a good one to take.
She would be outraged if Devin and Ryan turned on her.
Yes. Yes, she would. She would be indignant, I'm sure.
Beyond belief, because they made a deal.
But she
she'd
mothered
get
them.
over it, I know.
Yes. Yeah, where does this season stack up? I'm going to hold mine. I'm not going to be like Dalton Ross and go early before the finale.
I don't think you can really say before the finale, because who wins and how the last episode goes down really does color things.
Sure.
Everything. It's right there at the end before I ever decide. Because
What I've been saying all along is that I'm not overly excited about the cast. Like, none of them, with just a few handfuls of them, were interesting. I've enjoyed every episode, and so this presents a dilemma for me. Not super thrilled. I can remember not being too excited about the cast before we started, and as I learned more about them, I thought, yeah, this is kind of happening where it needs to happen. I would have changed the order a little bit and, had Allie and Rourke at least in the jury making the merge.
They have played really well.
Yeah, it's been good gameplay. I think just super solid edit so that it was entertaining every week for me. And it certainly met my expectations. I'm not going to look back on the whole cast fondly and say, wow, what a fantastic
I want to see that person again.
bunch of cast. Yeah, I'll be fine with the exception maybe one or two. Not seeing them play again, because I'm like Mike. I'm not a big fan of returnee seasons, even though they're just, bottom line, they're rating boosters. And so that means money. And you know how that works in the world. So certainly we'll have more returnee seasons to deal with. So this is a different season for me in that regard. I've enjoyed others just as much as this, if not more. So it's certainly not going to be my number one, but of a new cast, it's been a really good season.
Well, you know how I am. I remember about 2 weeks back.
The recency bias, yeah, if we're lucky. Yep.
And then it's like, who won that season?
Yeah, right.
So
what was the theme?
I have to stop and think, and so I really try to kind of stay in the moment.
I'm excited. I'll be thinking of Mike as we watch how Chrissy's story plays out when we watch the finale. So thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. Next up, we got a call from Shea.
Hey, guys, it's Shea. I'm sorry I missed last week. I'm sure the show went on fine without me. I had a trip to make. It was supposed to be all Christmassy, and the first couple of days were. And then right as we managed to get cold enough temperatures in Florida to light a fire and put on a Christmas movie, my husband's 90-year-old grandmother fell and broke her arm. So the last 4 days were spent in hard chairs at a hospital. But you can bet I was watching Survivor on my phone. Man, what an episode. Last week too, I can't even pinpoint things. So many things have happened. All I can say is I'm still at a place where I'm excited for any of the people left to win. I just still am not rooting against anyone in particular. I don't know if I had to take two people out. I think it would be Ryan and Dr. Mike. I think Ben, Chrissy, and Devin, is that his name? I don't even know. I think those three really have worked pretty hard to win. But then so have Ryan and Dr. Mike in their own way. I don't know. I'm just excited. I can't wait for the finale. I have no clue who's going to win. I know that Ben has probably irritated the most people, but I also think he has scrambled the hardest to be where he's at. While everybody else is taking naps, he's walking around digging in dirt, climbing in trees. While everybody else is worried about hurting feelings, he's breaking alliances and blindsiding people. They can be mad at him all day long, but I think he's worked the hardest. And I think right behind him, maybe Chrissy. I'd be glad to see any of them win, but I think the most deserved is probably Ben. We'll see what everybody else thinks, and we'll see what the jury thinks. I can't friggin' wait. And I haven't listened to any of the podcasts since I've been gone. I'm fixing to do that. I'm so excited. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Hope I got this in time.
Excellent. Thanks, Shay. Sorry your trip went that way. We know what those kind of trips are like when you end up in urgent care of the hospital or not feeling well, huh? Next up, we got a call from Myra.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is Myra from Kentucky again. This was a pretty cool episode. I mean, I really didn't think Ben would survive, but he did. My USB is still in. Yeah, he's got a pretty thin margin of error to make it to the final three. The immunity necklace that Chrissy is wearing, isn't that the same one that she got from the first episode from Ryan? And she held on to it because in episode 2, I think she said something about trying to use it as a decoy, which would make sense. It's playing out right at the very end of the season. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had any reason to highlight that. But anyway, getting back to the actual episode. Yeah, Ashley was just kind of wandering around blind, and she didn't take any of the lifelines that Ben offered her, and he offered her quite a few. I mean, at the reward challenge, really not a surprise that they took Ryan. The surprise was how quickly Devin was like, okay, we'll take Ryan. No big, let me just bogart my buddy here. And then at the immunity challenge, Devin, after all his smack talk on Ben, didn't deliver. Stupid people. But that's just kind of the way it goes. I was kind of upset that Chrissy won because I was really hoping that Ben would use it to get out Chrissy, but Ben finding the idol, I mean, that was pretty much telegraphed the entire episode. I mean, they wouldn't have kept pounding us like, hidden immunity idol, hidden immunity idol, hidden immunity idol, if there wasn't a payoff at the end. So there is the potential for one more idol to be out there. The question is, are they going to just let Ben wander off and find this one, too? You guys have a good holiday and happy finale. Bye.
Thanks, Myra. Great to hear from you again.
Yes, that was the first episode Super Idol that was only good in the first episode, but it looks like she's going to be using that as a bluff or something.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting to contrast the two also. The Super Idol, so ornate, so well put together.
And the others,
and the other hidden immunity idols, it look like they're absolutely made from found things, and they're not symmetrical, and they just look cobbled together. So, I wonder if that'll be a factor or not, because clearly it'll look special, and there's 2 out of the 5 people who will know what it is since they've both seen it. Yeah, that's going to be exciting to see that work or not.
I don't know if Ryan showed it to Devin, but he might have. So the 3 of them may know. We don't know if Chrissy showed Ben, but I don't think if that many people had seen it, I don't think she'd wear it. Ryan and Devin being in her alliance, they could utilize it.
Think how well it plays into Ben's catchphrase.
Yeah.
Secret, secret, secrets. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chrissy's got one of her own, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, only shared maybe by 2 people, so okay. Good deal. Thanks, Myra. Next up, we got email from Robert in Northern California.
Dear Joanne and Stacy, I love your show, and I'm a long-time listener who writes in every few years.
Great to have you back, Robert.
I watched in amazement as Ben played his idol before the votes were cast, and it occurred to me that a strategy which could completely change a season could come into play in the future. I wanted to run it by you to get your opinion and possibly the opinion of your listeners.
Cool.
Let's say a future survivor has an idol that no one knows about and realizes that they are the target at the next tribal council. Couldn't they make a fake idol and at the tribal council present the fake idol to Jeff before the votes are cast, maybe acting smug and announcing that they weren't going home to the rest of the tribe? Jeff would announce that it was a fake idol, and our future survivors then reacts with dismay and shock, the rest of the tribe thinking that our survivor was now without an idol all vote for him or her. Of course, before the votes are read, our survivor pulls out the real idol and gets to choose who they want voted out. Do you think it would work? All right, thanks, Robert.
Yeah,
and
so
I absolutely think it.
Another idea of a way to draw fire, but wouldn't you immediately be asking yourself, why did they just knowingly play a fake idol if Jeff was gonna explain it was fake?
No, they'd have to start something with somebody to get them to, they could probably work it in where they could get somebody to respond.
I'm not seeing it.
Just like Devin did. Well, you may not play that. You might not, if we do this, and you might not play it.
No, let's roll with that. So then you walk up and you hand Jeff the fake idol.
Fine.
And
I'll
Jeff,
play it now.
Jeff says, and this is not a real idol. And then there you are.
And then
so why did you do it?
You should say, Jeff, you weren't supposed to announce that yet. I mean, you could play it along. I don't know if anybody believe it.
Maybe if you covered it that way. Otherwise, you just come off looking goofy.
But that's okay if they still think, we're going to vote him out. He tried to trick us, blah, blah.
It's something like if you had the experience Dr. Mike had where you're fumbling and misplaying and goofing things up left and right, then I guess if someone like that did it, who had that kind of a story, then you might accept it a little more.
Yeah, you would have had to cultivate it in work.
I was thinking along the same lines because what I was hoping was Jeff would wait for when he said it, but since he declared it right away, it seemed to take that moment away. But I like the idea. I like trying to innovate and coming up with new strategies like that.
That kind of thing Robert. Can go either way. You just never know. The nice thing about Survivor is all the people are so different, and you really don't know how the new cast will react.
Yeah, but you'd have some sense at that point in the game how people are going to.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Perceive what you're doing.
You'd know who you could try to manipulate and get them to argue with you or something.
Thanks again, Robert. Next up, we got audio from Rhonda. I'll remind you for 2 reasons that Rhonda is in the middle of a bathroom renovation. She does speak to it, but you're going to hear sounds. That is not my tummy. That is not Joanne's tummy. That's some renovation, I think, going on in the background. So there you are.
Right.
And then I'll circle back to that again for the second reason I mention it.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. Hi, everyone. It's Rhonda from Portland. Before I get started, I want to wish a very happy birthday to my niece, Adrienne. I don't believe she's ever called in or left feedback, but I know she's a big fan of the show and she'll be listening. So happy birthday, Adrienne. I thought last Wednesday's show was good, but the decision to vote out Ashley was not wise. Certainly not what I would have done, and as we all know, I make better decisions than anyone else. She had, I don't believe, any chance of winning, and I think that they definitely should have kept her and voted out maybe Mike, maybe Ryan, maybe Chrissy. I just don't understand what these people are doing. As far as what's going to happen next, I like to read the edit, and I like to see who gets screen time and what their story is and all that kind of stuff. One thing that really stood out to me was that they showed Ryan and Chrissy and Devin having a conversation about the final 3. I don't believe that has been shown before, anyone else talking about a final 3. So I do believe that is our final 3. If that's not our final 3, I don't know. Ben totally has an underdog winners at it, so maybe Ben's going to win. I think that we have a final 3 of Ryan, Devin, and Chrissy. I've said since this season started, there is no way Chrissy wins. Her edit is so negative. Everyone has convinced me now that Ryan's not winning. So I think Devin is our winner, even though he made some stupid comments before. That's our only option, which means who's going to go next? Ben's probably going to find an idol, so he won't go next. Maybe Mike goes next, and then Ben goes at 4. And then we have our final 3. That's my prediction. Everyone can now make your picks because obviously, like I said, I'm super, super smart. And there we go. Life lessons. Let's see. Oh, here's my life lesson. If you don't have a shower for weeks and weeks on end and you can't wash your hair, you can use dry shampoo. Dry shampoo, ladies, dry shampoo is awesome. Don't look at the ingredients because it will scare you, but use dry shampoo. Okay, that's it for me. Thanks for everything. Have a good week, everyone. Bye.
Don't use it if you're allergic to scents. 'Cause
Or are a
I
lot
tried
of them
that in
scented?
the hospital. I thought I was going to, sniffed it and thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
So we couldn't use it. Because I can't, if you have asthma, you probably can't handle it.
I'll just add, circling back, that Rhonda, who I agree is super, super smart, scheduled a bathroom renovation for the November-December time frame
Okay.
during the holidays. And then it disturbed me that she said Devin was going to win because I want Devin to win. So I'm thinking
You
she's
should be-
wrong,
you
but
should
then
be
she picked my guy
reassured.
to win. So now I'm in a dilemma.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Rhonda.
It's all about you, baby. We know that.
Well, and Rhonda, she's super smart.
Right.
Good deal. Next up, we got a call from Marla-n-Sarah.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. Hi, Survivor friends. This is Marla
And this is Sarah.
with our feedback. How'd you like the show, Sarah?
I liked it. I thought Ashley was a little over-exaggerating when she didn't get chosen for that reward challenge.
Yes, she was really sad, and I thought that maybe she should have just thought, oh, it's strategy, but who knows? They must be so hungry. But I was glad they took Ryan. He is getting so skinny. What did you
Yeah.
think? Why do you think Devin won that challenge, Sarah?
Because he had the man bun.
That's correct. But he didn't win the next challenge,
correct.
even though he had the man bun. But he did get sawdust in his hair, so maybe that took away the luck of the man bun. What do you think?
Yeah.
Could be. We hope you are all getting ready for the holidays. We are very excited around here, getting ready for the holidays ourselves. And Sarah did really well at her meet last weekend. Second place. Woohoo! Wasn't it fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a good time too. It was a lot of fun. We hope you're all well. We can't wait to hear your feedback. Thanks, Joanne and Stacy, for all you do, and we will talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Marla and Sarah. Great to hear from you. Next up, we got email from Brandon in Brooklyn. Wow, what a surprising episode. I can't believe Ben found an idol right before leaving for tribal council. I can't believe Ashley was voted off. I think it was foolish to vote her off. I think Ashley was a good goat to bring to the finals. She just voted the same way and never left her Final Four alliance. I think Devin should have been voted off instead. Devin has been more aggressive in playing the game, more than Ashley, and he has approached people to make moves while Ashley just sits back and doesn't improve her position in the game. I didn't see Ashley getting any votes. If I was Chrissy, I wouldn't have kept that final three with Devin and Ryan. I would have brought Ryan and Ashley to the finals. I do believe Ryan is a GOAT. I just feel that when Mike was talking about reasons why Ryan shouldn't have went on the reward, it was also a hint of why Ryan will be a losing finalist. Ryan's game has been over for weeks, ever since Devin left him. I think the top three contenders are Ben, Devin, and Mike. I only put Mike on the list because he has a few healers on the jury who might vote for him. I was never impressed with his emotional gameplay. I don't like Devin because I didn't like his weak answers to Ben about why he shouldn't tell the current players his game moves he has done in the past. Survivors make up their mind mostly before final tribal council. At least give them an idea of why you are a threat in the game so you can validate it when they are in the jury. I think Ben will win the game because people have been trying to get him out and they failed. Ben is going to bring Chrissy and Ryan to the finals. I can also see it being Ben, Chrissy, and Mike in Final Three. I enjoyed the season, but I have one huge issue. I wish the editors didn't focus on Ben so much these past few weeks and made a case why everyone has a shot to win. I can't wait for the finale. Thanks, Brandon. What do you think about that? Would you have liked sort of an even view, a sort of a story for each one and why they should be the winner?
I don't feel that way because I feel like we're seeing how they play. We can make our own decision about that. I mean,
You think it's an over-celebration of Ben?
We only get to see. No, I think it's just that Ben's the one making the moves. They're showing the other people making moves too, and Devin was certainly highlighted with Ben in the moves that they were making. Mm-hmm. And so, no, I didn't feel that way. What about you?
Well, they're limited in what they have to work with. They have a lot of footage.
And the time, yeah.
Yeah, but Ben's story arc is so overshadowing of everyone else's. I can understand why they would make that choice. We've seen no evidence that Ryan and Mike have the capacity to play at that level. Ben's trying, Chrissy's trying, but I think Ben's a different level of player, and it's sort of reflecting what each of these castaways is providing and putting into the game.
He just gave them way more good
to
stuff.
work with.
So it's hard not to put in the stuff that, is exciting.
In the end, they're trying to put together something that's entertaining, that helps them sell ads, draws eyeballs to the show. So, yeah, they figured that was the much better story. It is fun when they all seem roughly even going in, and we've had some seasons where we weren't entirely sure how things would play out, when we're less clear. I don't know how clear we really are.
Even when we thought we knew how they were going to play out,
it didn't go that way.
It didn't go that way. So.
Yeah, so I'm okay with it. Like I said, I've enjoyed it along the way. It does feel like, I think to Brandon's bigger point, it feels like if Ben doesn't win, it's going to let some air out of the finale. I'm still circling around that thought. It's somehow, on some level, even though I want Devin to win, I'm going to be disappointed if Ben doesn't win. So
because he's just been pumped up and fighting so hard, you want to cheer for that underdog and
that's saving themselves at the 11th hour over and over again, and when the odds turned against him. Yeah. So I guess I'll be happy if he gets to go out in a spectacular fashion too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's kind of like with Terry Dietz. We wanted so badly for him to get to the end, and he lost a challenge. And
I don't feel about Chrissy the same way I felt about Aras, though. I really detested Aras in that season against Terry.
Because he's such a nice guy.
Well, and getting to meet him one-on-one, and how he played the game and how he treated people in the game, it didn't seem like he was a nice guy to me at all.
Well, in the first season, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the first season, he was taunting and doing, other stuff.
The second he was in a position of power, he started lording it over the others.
I think that was just part of his game. But anyway, we digress.
Maybe I'm giving Chrissy a break in that regard, because she's done some of that too. But I just don't see her on the same level of. I don't find her as detestable as I did Aras in that case. How's that, Mike, for a reverse case of gender bias? Thanks again, Brandon. Next up, we got a call from Drew's crew. He's got the posse together on a Saturday morning.
Hey, everyone. It's Drew.
Charlie.
And?
Adelaide.
Just the three of us this morning.
I have to get Kitty.
Oh, I guess Kitty will be joining us. Really quick feedback this morning. What an episode. You guys, and I just have to say, Ben is really making this. I mean, it's true that everyone, Julie and I were saying just the other day, everyone really seems to be playing, even if they're not playing well. Like, we're kind of bewildering. Like, Mike, what's going on there? And even Ashley eventually. Like, everyone's just on their game. And it's really nice. So, okay, here's Kitty. Good challenges, good reward, just good all around. I really enjoyed it. And I think that it's so funny when, like I was saying before, how people's game and their demeanor change when things stop going their way. And Chrissy's like, oh, I'm in control. I can do what I want. I can choose between Ben and Ashley. I can do this and this. And then Ben's like, hem, and pulls out his idol. And she's like, oh, well, he's exaggerating. It's not a big deal, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, come on. You're such a poor sport. And of course, it's funny because she's like, it wasn't really a bomb. He didn't really explode anything. And then Ryan's like, oh, another Ben bomb. It's like, even he agreed. So that was really funny. I know that it seems right now like it's Ben's to lose. And I think that I will be disappointed if he doesn't win, because I could see a couple of the others doing really well in the final tribal council, but I just think that Ben deserves it the most. I just do. I know that he's been kind of lucky, but he's also been he's shown a lot of initiative, and he's been able to save himself seriously 5 weeks in a row or something, 5 or 6 weeks in a row when he's been discussed. It's like people just don't get it, or they do and they just can't see him coming. I don't know. As far as who's left, I think the only ones that even have a chance, of course the only ones that have a chance are Ben, Chrissy, and Devin, but I kind of feel like the final three are going to probably be Ben, Chrissy, and gosh, I could picture any one of those guys in that third spot. But I'm going to say probably they won't want Devin to be there, and probably they won't want Mike to be there. So I think that it'll probably be Ryan.
Who's Mike?
Here, I'll show you, bud. Here they are right here. Okay, these 5, who do you think is going to win of these? You think he's going to win? Who do you think, babe? You think her? Okay. Charlie picked Ben. Adelaide picked Chrissy. Okay, pick one of these guys, Charlie.
Tom.
Okay, Mike. Who do you pick, babe? One of these guys.
Factor.
Okay, so Charlie picked Mike and Adelaide chose Ryan from that second row on Paul's roster. So we'll see how that goes. Not much else to say. Great recap. Great episode.
Wow.
Really fun interview with Ashley.
Wants to pick one.
I enjoyed that. Okay, Kitty, who do you pick? Okay, Kitty picked Devin. We'll see Kitty, Charlie, or Adelaide who was right for that third spot, as long as Ben and Chrissy are both the other two. Or maybe they just pick the next one out. We'll see how it goes. Winner of the week, Ben, of course. Loser of the week, Chrissy. What a crybaby. Like, really. I mean, she got her way in getting the last woman out, but it's just so funny how she gets so upset. Great episode. Thanks, guys. I look forward to the feedback helping me put this final 5 in order. I think next to go is probably Devin. Okay, bye. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye, Kitty.
All right. Good job, guys. Excellent. I like that characterization, too. Next up, we got a call from Kenny.
Hey, guys. It's Kenny from Dallas. Another very strong episode. I do have a Survivor question for you guys, since you guys are the Survivor experts. How many times in the history of the show has the audience been relatively blindsided about who had an idol before it was played at the tribal council? I think we had a good idea that Ben was going to get it, but we didn't know for sure, and we didn't find out till he actually pulled it out. Well, the only disappointment I have with this past episode was the reward challenge, which I felt was pretty weak because it did not involve the bicep strength and the fine motor skills that pulling the marbles out of the sack was at the loved ones reward challenge. Very, very weak. Well, I have another question, actually. Outplay, outwit, outlast. Outlast, I know what that means, who stuck around. Outwit, who played the other contestants very well. Outplay, I guess it bleeds over to outwit, but I guess it also means the physical strength, how well you did in immunity challenges. Using that as the criteria for who should win, I think there's no doubt that our winner should be Mike, who has done tremendously well. Frankly, I think his only chance would be if his final 3 consists of Wendy, Joe, and Francesca. He's got no chance. Ryan, unfortunately, who had potential, I think really hasn't done that much to win the game. You're down to Ben and Chrissy and Devin. Devin has done well, but I don't know if he's done enough to win the game. Christy has been extremely strong in immunity challenges, but I think it's upset too many other women, and so I think we have to go with Ben if he can make it to the end. Ben is certainly the strongest player of the year, who should win. The question is, will he win? Can he get by the next 2 votes? And I think he has to win immunity, get an advantage. I think if he does, he'll win. So my final prediction is in last place will be Devin, in 4th place will be Ryan, in 3rd place will be Devin. Wait, I think Ben's winning. Ben 1. Let me change it. Ben 1, Devin 2, Chrissy 3, Ryan 4, Mike 5. I hope Ben goes for it and wins it. Take care, guys. Bye.
Oh, I like that. That was funny, Kenny. And then, as Pete gave us a reference, so neither Joanne nor I had anything off the top of our head, but Pete gave us that great reference to Micronesia, episode 12, Amanda versus Alexis, in the surprise play there. Nobody knows. You just know that she was looking.
It was worth a look back.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely. Thanks for that question, and thanks again to Pete for pointing that out. Good stuff. By the way, I think Francesca would slaughter Dr. Mike in a final tribal presentation. She speaks really well. She may have been voted out first twice, but I don't think that was necessarily anything to do with her ability to play the game or how she would manage a final tribal council. I don't think he wouldn't come off well against Francesca. I like that. Made us laugh. Thanks, Kenny. Next up, we got an email from Jack in California.
Hi, all Survivor fans. If these last 2 episodes were any indication for what to expect in the finale, then we are in for a great episode next week.
Well said.
I knew Ben wasn't going anywhere this last episode because the preview for it focused on him a bit too much. I thought he would win immunity, but he didn't. However, he did find another idol and made great use of it. If I was on the jury and he was in the final 3, I would absolutely vote for him to win based on his gameplay these past 2 episodes, and I think he may just get there. In previous feedbacks, a lot of fellow fans mentioned to keep doors open, but Mike did not do that this time. He did not approach Ben with an alternative plan or even a fake one. I think that was a mistake on his part. As for the finale episode and the winner of this season, I would say my first choice, if he makes it that far, would be Ben, because he would deserve it. I could also see the potential of Chrissy or Ryan as well. I can't wait to hear what the others have to say about this episode and who they think would win. Talk to you all next week and enjoy the finale. All right. Thanks, Jack.
Who do you think would, in a surprising turn of events, would say, you know what, I'm with you, Ben? Because Ben, the other way Ben gets there is he needs someone to say, let's do a final three. Who would it be?
Maybe Ryan and Creasy.
I was thinking Ryan, yeah.
But
I don't know why Ryan would, but Ryan was the first one I thought of that would do that.
I think Ryan would go any which way that he thought would get him there because he's so excited to play and be a part of it and all of that he would just, I don't think he really cares. He'd just go with whoever is going that way.
Chrissy's pragmatism suggests that she might be open to it, but it would certainly be a huge surprise.
Well, and especially,
I was thinking Ryan and Devin reteaming.
Well,
maybe they would say, let's go.
But why would they take Ben? Mike would have to win immunity.
Because you just want to get there and make a case.
Chrissy would have had to be voted out. Mike would win immunity. Then, okay, I could see.
Nobody should, but we've seen a lot of surprising things this season. So
Ben would win immunity, but anyway, I don't know why they would do that. Nobody wants to go to the final with him. If it's your only option to get there, then sure.
Those two people that would choose Ben to go as to be in a final three with, they get to call that move. They get to own that. It's not Ben's choice.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone would choose to take Ben.
Nothing says that it makes any sense, right?
I don't think they would choose it.
Okay. It was entertaining to think about. Thanks, Jack. Next up, we got audio from Rashmi.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy and all my Survivor friends. This is now the penultimate episode of the series, and we've just got one more to go, which is a bit sad because then we're going to have no Survivor for some time. Well, I haven't got a break this season, except for the very first vote out. I haven't been lucky enough. Saying that, I could not see the reason why Ashley went home. She was definitely not the threat. The people who should have been voted, in my opinion, or targeted were Ben and Devin, because they are the ones who are very likely to win. They're the ones who are very likely to win challenges. Even though Ben hasn't won any so far, who's to say he may not win? The next crucial ones, the Survivor gods are definitely smiling on him because he found another idol to save himself. So, in my opinion, who is going to be the final? I don't think Chrissy's gonna win this game, and neither is Ben. It will most probably be Devin, but I could just be all wrong. In the order that I think they'll go is, I think it'll be Ben, and then Dr. Mike, and Chrissy, and Ryan, and Devin could be sitting in the final three, and Devin will take it all. That is what I think is going to happen, but I haven't been right throughout the season, so I may be all wrong again. Anyway, I'm so looking forward to the finale, and thank Joanne and Stacy for a great job, and you just keep this community all together, irrespective of the fact that you're feeling well or not. Kudos to you. Thank you, and talk to you all again soon. Bye.
Excellent. Thank Rashmi.
Has anyone won individual immunity except Chrissy in the final five?
Nope. Devin gave it up. He could have beat Ashley. I don't know. But he's probably the one.
Because he
came close. Dr. Mike came close on one, though. That really surprised us on the doghouse, right? How well he did at the end. And Ryan was there, too. He went off just before Dr. Mike. Like Rashmi said, you never know. With the right challenge, anyone can win, for sure. Rashmi also included a little note when she sent her audio in. She was asking if we got snow. Her son's in, I think she said Baltimore, and she was getting all these beautiful pictures of the snow there. So we're almost at sea level here in Orangevale, California. So it's very, very rare. How many times have we seen snow? Maybe twice?
Here?
Yeah.
No, we've never seen
Yeah, we've got pictures of it snowing, and we got snow in the yard and on the
hail,
fence.
maybe.
Snow.
I don't remember snow.
Okay. Anyway, it's super rare. It happens on occasion that the Sacramento area gets a light dusting of snow. It doesn't stay very long. Now,
It doesn't stick.
We can drive up the hill towards Auburn or towards El Dorado Hills in that area and be in snow in less than 30 minutes when they get it. In that case, or 90 minutes, you can be in Tahoe where it's snowy all winter if the conditions are right. But no, not here. Nothing like what you're seeing back east for sure. Thanks again, Rashmi. Next up, we got audio from Parker.
Hey, it's Parker, Indiana. And you know what? I didn't like last episode that much, but I love this episode. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. I was on edge the whole time. I was like, Ben is public enemy number one. It's Ben versus the world. And he didn't go home. They didn't show him find the idol. That almost never happens. There's only been a couple times where they haven't shown someone find the idol. But then he just whips it up at tribal council. And I'm just like, yeah. But if I was there sitting on the jury, I would have been excited. But that arrogance he showed afterward, that was a little bit much. I look back to it. I don't care. That was an awesome moment. And he just hands it to Jeff. And Jeff's like, okay, all right, we're doing this. That's when Jeff likes you, when he lets you do stuff like that. I was on edge this whole episode. I had Ben going home, but thankfully Ashley went home because I had no save points left on her. So, I didn't lose anything for her going home, but man, I'm so happy Ben didn't go home. Like, it didn't get a vote up point once again, but I don't care. The more he avoids the vote, the more I'm rooting for him. That's just, wow. Okay, I can't believe he made it to the end. Yes. Rarely are my first impressions right. I thought from first impression, I liked him the best. I thought he would go the farthest of everybody that I liked. And he has. He's made it to the end. Going into the finale, it is all players. There's no goats there. But really, I think Ben is playing the best out of all of them. But I like how it's all players, because that rarely happens, and I love it when it does. And that just, it gets me excited for the finale. Wow. Oh my goodness. This is going to be such a great finale. I'm going to be on the edge of my seat this whole time. And I don't see a way for Ben to win. I don't see it happening, because he's just been on the outs so much, and you're not going to have an idol forever. He hasn't done too well in immunity challenges. How is Ben going to win this? But I want him to really bad. Oh my goodness. Let's go Ben. Team Ben. That's great. I thought that Ashley thing was a red herring from the preview for this episode from last week, and I was wrong. It got me again, once again. But I don't know. I'm completely stumped on what's gonna happen next time. I'm like freaking out. That's just crazy. This was an epic episode. It's gonna be a crazy finale. I know Jeff was talking, hyping it up before this season ever started, and so I'm looking forward to it. That's Secret Advantage. Who knows what it's gonna be, but I'm excited. All right. See you guys next time.
Thanks, Parker. Love your enthusiasm. Okay, here's a scenario for you. He gets the last hidden immunity idol, plays it, so he's there, and then somehow wins that secret advantage, and that gives him just enough of an edge so that he can win that immunity challenge to put him there in 3. What do you think? It's a path, right?
It's a possibility.
Yeah, it seems unlikely. I'm with Parker.
What if the advantage is to the idol?
I don't think so. I think it'll be after that.
Okay.
I think it'll be after that. That's a scenario that Parker can latch on to.
Okay.
For his hero Ben against the world.
That could work, Parker.
Yep. Good stuff. Next up, we got email from Josh, the plush moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanne and Stacy, that was quite an episode. Ben continues to play the role of Wascally Wabbit while the Alliance members get blown up by his tricks and Acme idols. The finale should be a doozy. Here's my other observations. Never mind early birds and worms, the early Ben gets the hidden idol. The other castaways not shadowing Ben was literally a case of you snooze, you lose. Called it. The path to the hidden idol was literally pointed to by a big arrow.
That's true.
Did anyone else immediately say they're doomed when they saw the pairing of Ryan and Dr. Mike at the reward challenge? We did, didn't we? Yeah. Ashley's look of stunned disbelief after the reward challenge gave me flashbacks to Falcons fans after the last Super Bowl. Oh, you had to go pull that scab off, didn't you? I love Dr. Mike's confidence. If he can't find an idol, there obviously isn't one to find. I wonder what hosting grubby survivors does to the property values of reward resorts. Everyone but Ben has an ideal final three, which doesn't include Ben. The Venetian blind ladders in the immunity challenge were pretty elaborate. No wonder the challenge department only had time and money for marbles last week. Was anyone surprised when Mensa candidate Chrissy solved the cog puzzle challenge? Mike's quavering description of Ben's ferocity was like a bunny describing a wolf. Chrissy telling your allies you'll make up your mind at tribal means you aren't really their ally. There's the signpost up ahead. Next stop, the Hidden Idol Zone. Ben keeps a lot under his hat, so it only made sense that a hidden idol wouldn't find its way there. Ben blew up the game, would find its way there. Thank you. Ben blew up the game, then Chrissy blew up. I'm getting really tired of Chrissy and her double standard. It's okay for her to snippily call... Snippily? Yeah.
Snippily?
Yeah.
Yes.
Call out people at Tribal and mug when Ashley was voted out. But if Ben crows a bit when he overcomes the deck stacked against him, that's excessive. Sheesh. Jeff asked if anybody else wanted to play an idol. Does that mean that Ben's wasn't the only one available? If Devin, one of the original ones is still buried out there somewhere on the island, right? If Devin makes the final three, I wonder if Ashley will give a drowning shark's lifeguard version of Sue Hawk's rant against Kelly Wigglesworth. Interesting. Yeah. Next time, the finale, a final secret advantage. And was that small figurine a hidden idol? I can't wait for Wednesday. Anyway, that's it for me for now. Thanks, Joanna and Stacy, for all you do. I can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. Thank you, Josh. Loved it. Next up, got a call from Jeremiah. He's got a quandary.
Hello, Joanna, Stacy. Hello, Survivor fans. This is Jeremiah Panhorst here with some quick feedback. And I do mean quick because there's not a whole lot I cannot add that you guys already have. It was another fun episode. Ben, of course, getting the idol and saving himself once again is always entertaining. We got to see another first, right? I don't think we've ever seen someone give the idol to Jeff before they even vote. I don't remember ever that happening. So there was definitely some great moments. This is a very exciting Final Five, I think. I know some people are not loving this cast, but for some reason, I do like them. I don't know if I love them necessarily, but I do like them. And I really don't necessarily hate anyone really left. So it's going to be fun. Biggest thing, of course, I want to talk about is what's going to happen here in this finale, because I will admit with this Final Five, this might be one of the toughest JSFL picks we're ever going to have to do. Now, I know we say this almost every season, but this season I'm really struggling. And I want to tell you why. Because for the first time, I have a mild, slight chance at maybe finally winning JSFL. I've been playing this... 2008, something like that? I can't remember. I've been playing that JSFL and listening to your podcast for so long now, I keep forgetting, and I have to go back and look, but it's been a long time, and I've never won. I think the closest I ever did was maybe Blood versus Water, I think, where I actually had Tyson picked to win at the beginning. Well, I have, of course, Chrissy to win, and I am in the predicament that if I go with the plan of Chrissy winning and have a shot at winning JSFL, is great. But then again, I do think it looks like Ben's probably somehow winning this thing. I don't know how, by the way, but he's going to somehow, I think, win. And if I don't pick Ben winning, then I could potentially finish bottom in the side challenge and we'll have to sing. Now, Stacy, I know you're hoping for me to go with the Chrissy idea, and then Chrissy loses and I have to sing. But Joanne, you can answer this honestly. Do I go for it all and try to win JSFL, which, again, it's a very, very mild chance, or do I play it safe and just, pick an option of Ben winning, and then, that way I don't have to worry about being bottom of bottom of the side challenge? Okay, I need your help, Joanne. What should I do? All right, well, anyway, I won't go on any much longer. I can't wait to see the finale. I am thinking Ben's going to win this thing somehow, but who knows? I'm up for some surprises. So that's it really for me. You guys take care, and I can't wait to hear what the rest of the fans have to say. And until next week, this is Jeremiah from Southern California.
All right.
Always go with your heart, Jeremiah.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you're going to say?
Your gut, your heart.
Yeah, you definitely need to stick with Chrissy. Yeah, definitely Chrissy. Chrissy for the win. That's your motto.
I would. We know. I stuck with Ryan.
Uh-huh. Yep, there you go. Thanks, Jeremiah. Really looking forward to it. Next up, we got audio from Jen.
Hi, everyone. This is Jen in California. Okay, 3 minutes to sum up the season. Here we go. You guys said that it was Ryan who said, that was almost as good as my idol play. I thought it was Dr. Mike. I went back a couple of times, and I thought that was Dr. Mike who said that. What does everybody else think? It's equally as funny with Dr. Mike saying it, but I thought that was him being tongue-in-cheek, since his kind of flamed out so badly. I got to give mad respect to Ben for not giving up. He knew that a muted idol was his only play, really his only play. And I think he found that idol on sheer determination. But as I say that, I have to think, when I went back and thought about the clue on the tree, that had to be the worst Survivor clue ever. A little pink rectangle with a big black arrow pointing down. It wasn't a tribal symbol. It wasn't some representation of nature or the earth. It was a big black arrow. I thought that was just hilarious. And I felt like even though you didn't see him find it, they didn't show that to us, but the whole episode, Ben couldn't possibly find an idol. He's never going to find an idol. I wonder if he's looking for the idol. He probably won't find an idol. There's no chance he can find an idol. I leaned over and said to my son, "You think he's going to find an idol?" I think that tribal council was one of the most interesting to watch all season. There were so many mind games going on. I think Ben just owned Devin that whole tribal council. Evil Villain does not look good on Devin. The whole "you should be happy to be here" and, well, he has an idol, but that doesn't mean he's going to play an idol, folks. I feel like all the subtleties of Survivor that you should probably just keep to yourself, he was just throwing out there for everybody to listen to. Almost like he was just taunting him, I guess. And so when Ben just stood up and said, "Oh yeah? Well, here you go. I'm playing this idol for myself." Well, actually, I take that back. I kind of feel like he was a little bit Malcolm from Fans vs. Favorites in that moment, where you let the cat so far out of the bag in even saying who you want to vote for that it gives other more vulnerable players a way out. And by vulnerable, I mean Devin or Ryan or somebody in the main core three. If Ben would have just held on to it and said, "Hey, vote for me and see who's going to go home," I think it would have just added way more pressure. But yeah. I loved seeing the rest of the tribe turn on each other and kind of wonder who they should vote for, just as much as Ben was loving it. So it was great. I felt like Chrissy is a little too much holier than thou in this tribal council. I didn't like the whole "that's judgmental, that was uncalled for" attitude that she has, because she said a number of things that are questionable towards other castaways as well this season. So a bit of the pot calling the kettle black there. I think we had a little bit of foreshadowing about another idol going back into play, and my money is on Ben finding it next week and making it to Final 3. I really hope that happens. It'll be a disappointment if he doesn't. What does everyone else think? I can't wait to hear. Till next week, bye. Well, I said I was going to sum up the season, but I ended up obsessing on the episode instead. So my apologies. Can't wait to hear what everyone else has to say. Till next week. Again, bye.
That was great. I love that she came back and realized that. So you sum up the season next in your last final listener feedback next Saturday. That's when you'll have the chance to do that, Jen. Wouldn't it have been awesome if Ben had turned to Devin and said, "You feel lucky, punk?" Just like Jen said, and not played it. That would have been so much better. I think it would have had a bigger impact if he had done that and not shown it. He just got caught up in it.
Yeah, I think he did, and he kind of wanted to watch them turn on each other to really create that kind of drama.
Yeah, he wanted more opportunity to see that, except they had a quick answer ready. Yeah, which is how he knew who to vote for.
Well, Ashley said that Mike, because we asked her, what were you and Mike whispering about during tribal council? And she said she asked Mike if it was her, and he told her yes. And so, and she said she fought really hard trying to change her mind and all that. So that's how Ben knew who to vote for.
Mm-hmm.
Is they basically told him, we're voting her. And it didn't do any good. They still voted for her. But, we didn't see all that, but she told us about it. So.
How outraged would Chrissy have been if Ben had said that? You feel lucky, punk. She would have had a fit, wouldn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And Ashley really liked Chrissy. She made a big point that she and Chrissy got along well and that she really liked Chrissy. So.
Thanks, Jen. Next up, we got audio from Paul.
Hey, Paul, Louisiana here, and I want Ben to win so badly I can almost taste it. And it's not because he's an underdog, although that always helps. It's because he's playing 2 or 3 levels, maybe even 4 or 5 above everyone else. For a brief moment in time, I thought that Dr. Mike could win if he made it to the final 3, but it's completely obvious now that he's a non-contender. If he's not embarrassed by his so-called gameplay, well then, I am for him. And really, his not following Ben because he had looked for an idol and couldn't find it, well, that's just stupid, plain and simple. However, and I know I'm jumping around here, I do believe that Ben's idol reveal and early play of it at Tribal was a mistake because he lost control and therefore the ability to take out whoever he wanted. Then again, I'm pretty sure that he just won a vote with Ashley by allowing her so-called friends to vote her out. Still, if I were Ben, I would have been gunning for Ryan since Chrissy wasn't an option. As it stands, Ryan is Toto to Chrissy's Dorothy, and I guess that makes Ben the Wicked Witch. Watching Ashley's reaction to not being picked for that reward was sad and should have set off warning bells, but she was just playing a day or 2 behind everyone else. So even in this aftermath, I don't regret my USB switch from Ryan to Ashley at all. I've had fun these past few weeks rooting for her while Ryan disappeared more and more into Chrissy's lap. And as for Chrissy and Ryan and Devin claiming that they all want to go to the final 3 with each other, well, not a chance. Every one of them wants Dr. Mike besides them as a goat, and they'll be turning on each other by the time Tribal Council reconvenes, whether they have to or not. And again, I just love how Ben is the villain because he won't lay down and die. I mean, I understand why Chrissy is upset. He did turn on her, but it was Devin's plan to turn Ben into a double agent, and Chrissy appears to be fine palling and plotting along with him. Perhaps a little wake-up call is in order here. And if Chrissy is so smart, then why didn't she take Ben with her on that reward? It would have stopped him from looking for that idol, and it was the first thing I was thinking when they were selecting people to bring. Keep your enemies close, Okay, true, he didn't find it that night, but he covered ground that he would have had to go over upon his return the next day, and that could have stopped him from finding the clue that allowed him to make them all look like fools again in the eyes of the jury, who appear to be eating all of this up. Okay, so switching gears here again, did anyone else notice that the scene where Chrissy talked to Ben and tried to work with him never happened? Judging by the tension throughout the episode and at Tribal, I don't think it was cut out so much as it didn't happen yet. Anyway, next on Survivor shows Chrissy wearing an idol, which is in fact her dead idol. And thanks, Mike, for saving me the time to look that up. I believe this is purely a ploy to stop Ben from hunting for the idol, and I really hope it doesn't work. The most likely winner in this game is Ben, followed by Chrissy, with Devin trailing pretty far behind, but still is a viable winner. Ryan and Mike are just bodies, nothing more, and probably substantially less. So for me at least, it's Ben for the win. Woohoo! Everyone enjoy, and good luck with that final 5. We all need it. Bye now.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah, if she plops that out as a decoy, as a bluff, first thing Ben's going to ask himself was, why didn't we see that sooner? She's certainly been in jeopardy before, so how?
Well, but she could have just found it. Just like he keeps finding. She could have found an idol clue.
And I don't know, I was talking about the secret card, but if you're flaunting it like that while you're laying in the shelter, you're not keeping a secret, are you? So I guess that doesn't quite hold up.
No, she's bluffing.
I'm wondering,
I think.
I'm trying to figure out how effective, like Paul was asking, that's going to be.
Well, if it just keeps them from voting for her.
Ben's had 2. He's made one that could have been a real one. And this one looks so different. It's going to set off some warning bells for him.
But it's the last one, maybe. Yeah, it will be the last one because there's 5. So Maybe they made a special one for the last one.
I wonder if she'll be prepared to describe what the clue looked like, saying where it was.
Don't know. Well, she has.
That's some tools he's got to try to trip her up.
Shouldn't have to let him read it, but she's got what it was wrapped in when she got it.
Yeah, that's not what I'm asking about, though. Like what the symbol was that showed where it was, if she supposedly found it. She's got to have a good cover story. I'm going with what Paul was describing,
Yeah,
which
she
is...
doesn't. She didn't have to answer any details like that. I don't think they've asked
It's in her
him.
best interest not to, yeah.
Well, of course.
But he's going to know enough to ask, having found so many of them.
Yeah, I think she'd just ignore him like, Ben, I'm not talking with you about
I'm not going to play your petty games,
You didn't share
Ben.
your stuff with me, and I'm not going to share mine with you. That's easy to get around.
Okay, what's your most exciting final three?
Exciting?
Yeah. Do the easy one first.
For me, I think it would be Ben, Chrissy, and Ryan.
Ryan's exciting for you because it's your USB.
Because he's my USB, and but then I don't expect him to get any votes. So then it's basically Chrissy and Ben fighting it out.
Uh-huh.
And yeah.
I was going to say the most exciting would be Devin, Ben, and Chrissy, but that just sounds like because Devin's my USB. But I'm saying it because
it does.
They've got Devin at least has a story to tell as opposed to Ryan. So they're
even more reason not to take you.
Right, but I'm not asking for it to be reasonable. I'm saying, what do you think the most exciting? What's the most entertaining one? Most entertaining final three?
I gave you mine.
Oh, you're equating
For me.
exciting and entertaining? Because I think an entertaining combination could include Dr. Mike.
Well, yeah. Well, probably Devin, Mike, and Ryan, or even Ben, Mike, and Ryan.
Would be entertaining, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because Ben will fight hard, and Mike will be all mouthy. And I think even Ryan might try. I think he'll get shot.
He'll absolutely try.
He'll get shot down, but I think it won't stop him.
If anyone directs a question to him, he will.
I don't think Devin would do as well under those circumstances.
I don't think he'll be entertaining. I don't think he's naturally entertaining in that kind of way.
And Chrissy, we know she'll scrap like crazy for it. So that's why I thought,
Yeah, I expect some lean-in energy from Chrissy were she to end up there, so I don't think it'll be entertaining.
I won't be surprised to see Mike get to the finale.
I won't be surprised to see Chrissy chastise someone in her responses if she makes final three. Okay, and we talked about maybe the most unlikely or surprising one would be Devin, Mike, and Ryan when we were talking about it on the recap.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that it would be as rewarding for the overall show.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Some pretty fantastic things would have to happen in those last two challenges for that for it to make sense and be fun. But it's a game; it doesn't have to make sense, and you never know how the worm's going to turn with these kinds of things.
To wrap it up with the bow, you want Ben to get there, have to fight really hard and argue and plead his case and this and that, but win out in the end.
Make a great case.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank everybody who took the time to send in your thoughts and predictions for us this week. We enjoyed them. You made us think and laugh, and you gave us some good ideas to ponder as we choose our JSFL Final 5 picks. Hope you got safe picks left. Of course, if you don't, I guess it makes it a little easier.
I actually do this time, but just by the skin of my teeth.
Yeah.
I have one left for Mike. So, though if Mike went out... No, I have it for the others, so, and I only need one more, so, yeah, okay, I'm good, but because I voted Ashley last week.
You got two left?
So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, you only need one. You only need one.
Oh, that's right, it doesn't come into effect. I'm so used to them going 6 in and thinking about it that way. This is actually one that we had planned for and designed for, right?
1 point left.
Yeah, yep.
So I do have that.
Okay. We also want to say thanks to Chris for Chris's review on iTunes. Thank you so much for the kind words. We appreciate that, and that's another good way to contribute and help get the word out about the podcast. Thank you so much.
Well, be sure to get your picks in before the deadline for your Final 5 order, but there's a lot of bad weather around the country right now, and so I would suggest not waiting until the last minute in case something happens that interferes with your internet or the website's internet or something happens and, you can't get your
That's
picks
right.
in.
Get your picks in early before we start to feel the blowback from that awful decision the FCC made.
Yes, and should that something like that happen, but you can send an email with your Final Five order, you would send that to us.
Yeah, but you need to get it in ahead of time.
You would have to get it in a half an hour before the episode airs on the East Coast.
We don't entertain stories after the cutoff time.
No, not after 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, which I guess would be 6:30 Central. And but I just encourage people to put a Final Five order in. You can always go back and change it.
You gonna go
until
put
the
yours
deadline. In? Me?
Mm-hmm.
Not today, but tomorrow probably.
Okay.
I don't have anything left to think today.
Yeah.
So no, but I'll think through tomorrow and probably make it tomorrow, Monday at the latest.
All right. Here's how the final stretch will go. Joanne and I will do a recap after the finale and the reunion show on Wednesday, and then we've got a batch of
reunion show. Oh, after the finale and the reunion show. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I'm with you now. You just paused. It's like, what?
And then we'll have a batch of interviews that we'll take care of on Thursday with the Final Five. And then Saturday will be our last listener feedback show. We'd love to have you be a part of it. It doesn't matter if you started off participating or you never have before. That's a great one to come be a part of, to help roll up your thoughts about the season. And then that question that was out there today about how does this one compare to previous seasons, because those last listener feedback episodes are the last ones that sit out there. So when someone comes and they grab the most recent episode, that's the one that they tend to get in between seasons. And so that's a great time to showcase your enjoyment and how much you get out of the show and what you thought about the season, and gives you a platform to talk a little bit. So be thinking about that. We'd love to have you be a part of that last listener feedback show for season 35.
All right.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I'm just really excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah, me too. Have a good one.